Lisa had spent most of her life being reasonable, very reasonable. She had 3 children that she raised. She managed a hardware store with her late husband and folded hundreds of fitted sheets with the quiet precision of a woman who had no time for magic. Her hands had grown stiff from decades of doing the practical thing, gripping grocery bags, balancing checkbooks, sorting pills into these small plastic compartments labeled M through S. But none of those things prepared her for what would come after 70. After Andrew died and the house went still, something began to happen. Not loudly, but steadily, like a leak in the roof that only speaks during storms. Her laughter stopped showing up. Her days began melting into one another like cheap watercolor left out in the rain. The doctors called it low-grade depression. Her daughter called it grief. Lisa called it life. Until one day, in a dusty Goodwill aisle, she saw a used watercolor set for $2.75. She almost walked past it. She didn't need another thing in the store, and the little tray actually looked like it had seen better decades. But something in her hand reached before her mind gave permission. And that night, while the TV murmured the same nightly news, Lisa dipped a trembling brush into a murky blue and painted a crooked tree on a torn napkin. And for the first time in years, she felt a pulse. Week by week, brushstroke by brushstroke, Lisa came back to life. And at first, it was like silly things. It was grapes and shadows, and it was birds with too many feathers, awkward sunsets that looked like fruit salad. But then something began to shift. The act of painting, of choosing a color, letting her wrist move without apology, rewired her. Her memory sharpened. Her sleep deepened. Her posture straightened. Her appetite returned. Even her cardiologist remarked, half laughing, that her blood pressure had dropped like she'd taken up yoga or something. What she didn't say was she had. Because painting had become her form of prayer, a silent, colorful liturgy, each brushstroke a confession, each finished piece a psalm. At her next checkup, her therapist smiled. You know what, Lisa? Painting activates the hippocampus. It stimulates neurogenesis. Your brain is literally growing. Lisa blinked, her eyes wide behind those big bifocals that she had. She says, well, I always wanted to garden. And so she painted. Every morning after tea, she sat in the kitchen with music from the 40s playing low and the sun lighting up her wrinkled knuckles like stained glass. Her grandkids started calling her the art grandma. She liked that actually more than she expected. Lisa began painting postcards and mailing them to other widows in her church. She ran out of stamps. She bought more. And the best part of this, the depression didn't vanish, but it lost its seat at the table, at the head of the table. The anxiety didn't disappear either, but it had to whisper now because the paintbrush was louder. Lisa wasn't chasing youth. She was reclaiming wonder. She'd stopped trying to escape age, and she started giving it a voice. Each wrinkle was now a contour. Each gray hair, a highlight. She no longer lived to survive. She lived to express. The moral of the story, Lisa didn't discover a fountain of youth. She painted one. And every morning, with brush in hand and the 40s music playing in the background, she dipped into it like it was never too late. Because it wasn't. And neither is it for you. Creativity is the most overlooked anti-aging practice on earth, in my humble opinion. You don't need Botox, you don't need a Bali retreat to reclaim your spark. You just need to create something, anything. A messy doodle, a rearranged kitchen, a short shot on your phone. Creativity doesn't require a canvas. It doesn't require a certificate. It's not a hobby. It's a way of seeing. It's a way of being. And it's everywhere. Right now. In your journal. In your camera roll. In your dinner plate. Creativity is accessible. It's available and it's free. A birthright, not a bonus. Now let's talk about how brain science backs it up. Okay, so let's nerd out for a second. And I've done this in, I think, one of my other videos. Creative expression, it stimulates neurogenesis, the birth of new brain cells, especially in the hippocampus, the part of your brain that keeps you from putting your keys in the fridge and then crying about it later. It also activates neuroplasticity, which means your brain keeps growing and adapting as you try new creative paths. You're literally rewiring yourself every single time you take a risk and make something new. Creativity, it gives you that sweet dopamine hit, the brain's internal gold star, which boosts your mood, boosts your energy, and even boosts your motivation. And when you enter a flow state, oh, I love those flow states, when time vanishes and you're just in it, your stress levels drop, your inner critic goes quiet, and your brain starts healing. Creativity isn't just fun, it's cellular renewal. Now let's talk about how creativity is soul medicine. Life is really difficult. It's hard. Loss is real. We carry things. We carry things like grief, like trauma, disappointments that age us far more than birthdays ever could. But when we create, we process. And when we play, we reclaim. Creativity is the language of the soul. It's how the child inside us whispers, "I'm still here." It keeps us emotionally elastic, spiritually limber, curious, alive, and it makes room for joy, even in the ruins. Now let's talk about how to create is to resist decay. Entropy says this: break down. Creativity says build anyway. The act of creating, of imagining something that doesn't yet exist and bringing it to life, is one of the most hopeful, youthful things that a human being could do. You see, when you make something, you're declaring, I'm not done becoming. I still have wonder in me. I still have something to offer. That's not art. That's resistance. That's not aging. That's alchemy. Creativity is not a luxury of the talented. It's a necessity of the alive. If you want to stay young, don't just count your steps. Count your sparks, count your risks, count the things that you dared to bring into existence. So here's my challenge to you. Make something today, anything, something small, scrappy, sincere. Let it light a fire in you. Now go, create your way back to life.